Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 467 for the week of September 15th, 2020, take 17. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Toby.
And...
Toby.
Wait, isn't it Kevin and then Toby?
That's what I thought, but I played the role of Toby, so he could be me.
I'm Kevin.
Somebody needs the and. Come on, and let's hit it.
And Charlie.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Toby. So that is myself, Brock, Kevin, and Toby. No Charlie this week. That's okay. We started recording. Toby came in late. We stopped recording. We came back. Brock's good thing couldn't connect, so now we're starting again. So let's see if this
is going to be about 50% the quality of that first round.
That's fine. We're just going to go straight into.
That's still an A minus, right?
Look. The quick kick again was, so we were off last week. Sorry. We're back now. There we are. Yay. My name is Ryan. We're going to talk about sales charts. I love sales charts. Not only are
why did I join this podcast?
These are sales charts.
I stayed away. Why didn't you tell me?
It was on the comments. It was the first comment.
You tell me to fuck off. You can just continue.
What? No. It's fast. Sales charts are fast now. We don't have all the info that we used to have.
Okay, Batman. All right, we're done.
You're done with like half the list. You're not wrong. Sales charts have mutated greatly in the last few months. If you guys remember last month, we are now getting official sales charts of actual sales to customers from 85 ComicHub stores. So while clearly not every store in the country, there's no way to do that. This is a small, non-random sample, as ICV2 puts it. And we're going to go over the top-selling comics. Now, of course, I use ComicHub, so my DC bias greatly skews these numbers, I'm sure. But we are going to go over the top 20 comic books sold by units in August of 2020.
Through ComicHub stores.
Who wants to take a guess?
Toby already guessed.
I got some graphic novels, too. Who wants to take a guess at what some of these comics in the top 10 could be?
Well, how many do we eliminate with Toby's guess?
Batman? 1, 2, 3. Technically 3, could be 5.
Death Metal.
Death Metal's in there. Death Metal number 3 is the number 2 title.
Batman book, that doesn't count.
Well, I asked if Metal is a Batman book, then there's 5 Batman books in here.
3 Jokers. Batman
3 Jokers, of course, is the number 1 book of August 2020, and that had like 5 days of sales to become the number 1 book. I mean, I'm sure it was the number 1 book by the end of the day Wednesday. Every store sold a shitload of. It was the busiest Wednesday we've ever had at the store by almost twice the last highest grossing Wednesday of the history of the store. We had a line out the door, and not just because of COVID. We had a legitimate line of people opening for 3 Jokers. It was a incredible seller. Batman 96 and Batman 97 are the number 3 and number 4 books, and Death Metal Legends of the Dark Knight number 1 was the number 5 book of August. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all top 5 books. Batman is California, as Bryce likes to say. So a lot of Batman in the top 5. Now there is one more DC book in the top 10. If you guys want to take a crack at that before we head on over to good old Marvel, Batman is not in this book. I mean, he has been in it, obviously, but it's a DC Universe title. It's a lot of characters, lots of great, different, varied characters. Yes, DC's Dead Planet number 2. Now we got 4 books from Marvel.
What number was that? Number 6?
That was the number 8 book.
8, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so for Marvel, Empire?
Empire number 4 was the number 10 title of the month. That's correct.
Is Thor in the top 10?
Thor number 6 is the number 7 book. Now, I'm going to also mention really quickly, Venom number 27 was the number 6 book of the month in terms of sales. Thor and Venom are having a pretty ridiculous set of success here for Marvel. They are not quite Batman numbers for us, but they are miles and miles and miles ahead of where any of these books have ever been in the past. They are close to X-Men. No, they are over X-Men sales for us at this point. Venom and Thor. Remember a couple, like last year when I was like, really? Immortal Hulk is like a top 10 book? And it happened like twice, 3 times. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, we sell a bunch, but like top 10? Really? Like, it's not a top 10 Marvel book for me. Venom and Thor is the number 2 Marvel books. 100% yes. And that is totally correct. They are by far our 2 best-selling books for Marvel.
Do you read either of them?
Nah, I mean, I have Thor to read. Venom, I read a little bit when I first started. I've never been a Venom guy. I didn't read Absolute Carnage. I'm sure I'll read what's the new thing?
The King in Black?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll read that. I'm catching up on Avengers and FF right now. I just started Empire. I just read issue number 1.
Oh.
So, Celestial Madonna. That's a take.
Character?
That's a character that was in a comic book one time.
The best for me of the series, with no spoilers, is the Emperor Hulkling Lords of Empire, the one shot.
I read that, so that was good.
And then the Empire number 1, and then the Empire Aftermath that just came out last week.
Yeah, I heard that was pretty good.
Those are my the 3 highlights.
Yeah, there was a like Road to Empire one shot that came out, and I was like, thank fucking God I read this, because I would have no idea.
That was the Kree Skrull War recap?
I would have. I mean, I kind of remember some of the Kree Skrull War stuff, but like they really just were like, no, we're just going to take this like 50-year-old story and do more with it. It's like, okay, that's fine. There was one more book for Marvel, the number 9 title. I just said it too, so it's fine. I'll just say it. X-Men number 11, the number 9 book, of course. A lot of good sales there. And Strange Adventure, number 4, hitting the number 15 spot, just slightly above Amazing Spider-Man. Maestro number 1 is on here, the number 17 book, and I think that's totally legit. Maestro did very well for us. We had a lot of pre-orders in that, way more than I anticipated. So, good stuff. Very, very strong month for DC, obviously. Metal, 3 Jokers, Batman. I mean, we're wrapping up the year of Joker, so I don't expect I would think there wouldn't be too much more of this going forward, but you never know.
We're going to get like a 3-year break from Joker after this, right?
We have to, yeah. I mean, I love Joker, but let's pump the brakes a little bit after. Again, 80th anniversary, go fucking hog wild, and they have. I'm totally fine with it. 81st anniversary, there's other characters. I'm gonna briefly go over some of the cooler books that are on the top 20 graphic novel sales by units for August 2020 through ComicHub stores. And number 1 should be not too much of a surprise. That was the pulp hardcover from Image, Edward Baker and Sean Phillips. And again, that's one of our best-selling books of the year already. We did really good with that. Green Lantern Earth 1, Volume 2 is the number 2 book. The Firepower Prelude graphic novel is the number 3 book. And I wish we had we had Heads Up, but we had to order that like right when we reopened from the pandemic. Yeah. So I didn't know the sales on that. We would have sold a lot more if I had them right there at launch. Umbrella Academy 1, 3, and 2 take the 4, 5, and 6 spots. Obviously, a lot of movement there because of the Umbrella Academy coming back. Adventure Zone Volume 3, Star Wars Rise of Kylo Ren, Old Guard Volume 1, and I think that's maybe just maybe a little bit more just because of lack of availability. And Cruel Summer hardcover, again, that collects that Drew Baker, Sean Phillips, current criminal stuff. So that's all in the top 10. And I'm going to jump down here just a little bit here. The Avatar Last Airbender Omnibus, The Promise, was a number 13 book, and I guarantee you that would have been a lot higher if every store got them and if copies were still available. Toby, this came out. We didn't get it. It was one of the ones that we were just straight shorted, and I still have not got back in stock yet.
That's the smaller one, though, right? That's the actual same size as the skinny ones, but it's all 3 of them in one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Hey, I'm going to close my door here. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, the shop is sold during COVID. We sold through a lot of those Avatar hardcovers.
Well,
Some kind of a concert out there.
They got really hard to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the hardcovers have gone back in and out of print. It's crazy.
I'm gonna collect the new omnibuses too.
The softcovers. Yeah. So some good stuff there from ComicHub stores. I highly suggest you join up. ComicHub is great. Let's get to some good stuff. Let's get to, what do you guys want to talk about here? You want to talk about, you guys want to start
with the movie stuff out of the way?
Get some movie stuff out of the way. Let's do that. Wonder Woman officially pushed back December 25th, 2020. Okay. Sure. Whatever.
Like, I would have paid $50. Still willing to pay $50.
They're pushing it back. One of the reasons was because they want to like give Tenet more space. Fucking December, like Tenet has plenty of space. The people that were risking going out to a movie theater to see Tenet already saw it. No one's going out in the next couple months. Sorry, Donald Trump, your October surprise coronavirus vaccine's not coming.
Wait. I didn't think that was it. Wasn't it supposed to, like, a bad dream just go away one day?
Oh, well, yeah. No,
it's not a bad dream. It's a miracle. It just goes away.
Once in April, starts warming up, just goes away. Yeah. Around the 15 cases and then zero.
Got to drink the bleach, pour some light on it.
It's good times.
And every time this movie comes up in conversation, I just have to stop and say it was finished and ready to be released in 2019.
Yeah, and
they chose not to do it.
This is the New Mutants of DC, right?
Brothers,
right? All the movies are the New Mutants now. New Mutants was just ahead of the game.
Yeah. They knew what was coming.
Yeah.
Just put it on fucking demand.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you know what I want to do on Christmas Day? Go get coronavirus in a movie theater.
Fuck that shit. You know how many people aren't going to be shopping for Christmas because they don't have money to shop for Christmas?
Oh, it's all going to be online, right?
Yeah, it's all going to be online. Like
$100, you're fine, right? That'll float you for a year,
unless you live in a state where the disease is not a problem.
Yeah.
Like
imagine
doesn't exist.
Like imagine not a problem or actually not a problem.
The first one, because the imagine is reality. But you know what? With this Wonder Woman, Brock, you said $50. So this is interesting. We talked about this a few weeks ago. How much would you pay for this or for New Mutants or for whatever the other choices were? I'm interested in seeing that new Bill and Ted movie. And I looked it up and it's $20. And I went, no. Like that's past so I definitely have discovered hurdles of like the quote unquote value to me. Yeah. I am interested in seeing that movie. And I would say, if that price had come up at 15, and you might say, well, 15, 20 is really not that big of a difference. It's a mental difference.
Well,
for me, for this customer.
Well, yeah, it's the movie, right?
Yeah.
Bill and Ted, I will pay $0 for because I have no interest in it, right? Tenet.
There's so many things wrong with you, Ryan.
Tenet.
It's Bill and Ted.
I do want to watch Tenet. I don't know that I'd pay $30 for Tenet like Milan, but I would pay to see it. But the superhero stuff, I will pay whatever the asking price is because
New Mutants for $30.
Yeah, I'd watch it. Yeah, I'd get it. Yeah.
Okay, well, invite me over. I'll sit out on your deck. Just give me some long headphones.
Yeah, there's 6 feet between the couches here. You're good. You're good.
Okay, yeah.
That's for me, right? Like Dune, maybe.
Oh hell yeah, I'm in on that, man. I'd so much rather see that in a theater. Although I guess that's true for all of these.
Yeah, of course, right.
Well, like Kevin, for me, like 50 for Wonder Woman, I'm fine with because it's like my daughter really wants to see it. Like there's a little bit more of a, and what would I pay at the movie theater anyway? I pay $45 because the tickets are, you know.
I I don't know that I would pay $50 to see Wonder Woman. I mean, I think I may have joked about that earlier. Like I'd pay $100 to see it or something like that. But I mean, sitting here with a credit card in my hand, would I pay $49.99 digitally rent Wonder Woman? Probably not. But $29.99 to like digitally own it, sure. In the current situation, why not? Right?
Well, I mean, for me, it's just it's again that my daughter wants to see it. I want it. So if it's like buy it for $50 digitally, okay, whatever, right? Like, but again, I'm still going to have those limitations of, well, I'm not going to get Bill and Ted right away, or I'm not going to go see Tenet right away, or
Well, you're not perfect either, Brock.
No, I want to see Bill and Ted.
Doesn't matter.
I'll just go over to your house, Toby, and I'll watch through the window.
Yeah, Toby, let's pool our money and we can get Bill and Ted.
He's already got it.
You know that.
What?
I own it.
Yeah, I'm saying I'll contribute.
No, you don't have to. You're my friend. You could just watch it. It'll be outside though, but we'll do.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't care.
Drive. What's the thing called at home to drive?
Drive in.
We're gonna drive up to Toby's house to watch a movie.
Yeah.
Could project it in the driveway.
Oh, no,
What's the next movie on the agenda, Ryan?
Next movie on the agenda is Marvel's Black Widow, which is more likely delayed from November 6th to...
Wait, what? Are they even... Are they talking to people like regular moviegoers? Like,
there are no regular moviegoers.
No, like, are they like randomly surveying people versus going and talking to people that go to movies all the time?
Who the fuck is going to the movies all the time right now?
No, I meant like past going all the time.
The report is likely that the upcoming Pixar movie Soul... Wait, is that Pixar?
Yep.
Yeah. Soul is Pixar. I wasn't sure if that was Disney Animation or Pixar. More than likely, the upcoming Pixar movie Soul will be heading to Disney Plus, like Mulan. So Mulan must have done well enough if they're going to put another movie out this way and not just hold it back. Black Widow more than likely bumping to holiday season, but let's be honest, probably not. Probably 2021. At this point,
holiday 2021, right?
I mean, at this point, I'd be planning these movies for May 2021 and just not even pretend. So
okay, legit question: you would buy Wonder Woman, Black Widow for like whatever price is in your head?
$29.99 is a more than fair price. $29.99 for Wonder Woman, Black Widow,
all that stuff. What if in 2021, when everything's kind of moving back to a sense of normalcy, like normal movie going, and they released it in theaters again, would you go watch it in theaters so you could have the movie experience?
Depends if I like it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
Black Widow and Wonder Woman more than likely. New Mutants probably not.
Yeah,
but yeah, if they release Fast 12 or whatever it is digitally 15, right now,
okay, get it straight. It's 15.
I mean, that's done, right, Toby? That is finished, right?
The hell I know.
They're just... I mean, it was supposed to be out already, right?
Well, they're trying to resurrect some dead people, so it might take a while. They need to figure out cloning first.
No, I mean, the movie was supposed to be out, like, this past summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the movie's finished. Like, if they put it out now, and then they put it out in summer of 2021, like, fucking people would still go see that movie. So, I don't... To me, it's... because they're not filming anything. They're not going to start filming anything. Yeah, they're going to film a couple stuff here and there, but like movies are going to come out and then we're just going to have this huge gap of nothing because nothing's been in production for the last 6 months. So, but Black Widow again, more than likely delayed as well, which I mean, I guess they can dick around like Warner Brothers and put it to December, but I mean, let's just be.
Remember when that Eternals movie was going to come out in November?
Yeah. Did they? I mean, they must have finished filming. They must have finished filming Eternals, not.
It's done.
It probably could be finished at this point because they digital effects and all that. Maybe they just need a little bit of time to.
Something tells me it's nowhere near done.
You don't think so?
Yeah, something. I call it a hunch. I have no idea. I could be completely wrong. I'm just saying.
I mean, I still would have filmed it last year.
I just figured it'd be a lot more leaks at this point if it was actually done. But I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff is. I mean, with shelter in place and quarantine, I think like things have gotten like less people are involved in things in production and things like they limit the amount of exposures.
Oh yeah, of course. So I mean, they could still be working on it just slowly, knowing they now have a ton of time. So yeah, sorry guys. If you are excited for these movies, you're probably gonna have to continue to wait, just like everything else.
Well, the classic New Mutant, I think, may actually end up being my first drive-in movie of all time.
You gonna do it?
I think I will. The minute I have a free minute, I will totally do it. And I think it's still playing for another week, at least.
There was one more bit of movie news, and while we're talking about nothing filming, they just randomly came out from Deadline, and I don't know how far they are with this, how accurate this is, why they're even casting for a movie like this now. I mean, I guess they're still working on stuff. So, but
you can do pre-production stuff.
Well, I mean, obviously,
to a point, right?
Yeah, writing scripts and still planning. Jonathan Majors, who is recently in Lovecraft Country, has been cast in Ant-Man 3 as more than likely, the word is he will be playing the supervillain Kang the Conqueror. Now, there was a baffling set of replies on social media about Kang the Conqueror. Kevin, this is why I need you here, okay? Of Kang the Conqueror, since Kang the Conqueror has been cast, we now have our first official, like, direct link, and the Fantastic Four will be, like, introduced through Ant-Man 3 because Kang the Conqueror is Reed Richards' father.
What?
His father?
Yes.
Who's fucking out with that one?
Isn't it his, like, distant ancestor?
It was the most baffling, like, someone I think edited Wikipedia and put this in there, and then people just went off this and didn't actually know what they're talking about. Unless there was someone did say that there was, like, some sort of hint in the current Doctor Doom book that one of the alternate versions of Kang might be somehow related to Reed's dad. Like, there was some, like, very hand wavy, like, oh, not even I know my origin anymore, right?
Yeah.
But Kang the Conqueror is not Reed Richards' father. Like, one of them is his, like, great times 20 grandson.
He's from the 31st century.
Yeah, who then travels back in time to the Egyptian days as what's his face?
Rama Tut,
right? And I mean, he basically screws up time so badly. There was that Avengers Forever miniseries that gets into it. And
oh yeah, that's such a great miniseries.
Yeah.
There's our pick of the week: Avengers Forever.
But obviously, a lot of the connection with Kang the Conqueror. I mean, obviously, the connection is Fantastic Four because he's their villain, not because he's his dad. Like, it was the weirdest thing. I don't know where people got this from.
But you, Ryan, as an Avengers fan, must be excited.
Yo, man, Kang the Conqueror. I would fear that they wouldn't. I mean, Kang should be Thanos level, right? He is a major threat, and he's a human-sized character, right? I mean, I think we talked about this, that the great thing about Thanos is that he is such a big threat, but he is normal. He's not fucking Eternity. He's not Galactus. He's not, this nebulous thing that can't,
He's a slightly bigger humanoid form, but not a gigantic, space cloud.
And what's great about Kang too, right? I mean, they could easily just travel through time, and great way to bring back characters that have been killed off or dead, or Captain America, right? There's a lot of great characters they could bring back in flashbacks or in kind of alternate history. There's a lot of fun stuff you could do with Kang. So
if that actor is playing Kang,
yeah.
What Ant-Man villains could he be playing though?
Egghead.
I was actually looking at a list. I think of like the major villains of Ant-Man, like Yellow Jacket or Yellow Jacket, and
They already did that.
well, right, they already did like a version of that. Obviously Ultron. I think Whirlwind is like the one actual Ant-Man villain that they haven't used in any of the other movies.
Do you count Giant Man villains? Because then you could get the Living Eraser. There's that Marvel version of the Scarecrow from the 60s. Yeah. It looks like a stuffed, like with straw coming out of him.
Yeah. I like Whirlwind. I think Whirlwind would be a cool, like, one-off villain.
Yeah, he just come right in and go right out.
But I would love Kang to be like the next big bad. That'd be a cool choice.
Well, what if they brought in like the Grizzly and all those like kind of like slapstick villains as more of like he hires them and they're part of his company, right?
Sure.
I just want to see.
What was that last? Oh God! In Spencer's Run, who was the villain in that? Or it was Darian Cross, but they used somebody else. I can't remember who it was.
I don't remember.
Yeah, damn it.
If it did turn out to be Kang, then you could also. I mean, you got to be careful not to just because the comics fans can follow all this, like the general public might not. Like you can't go too far down the rabbit hole. But then you could also bring in Immortus if you open the door with Kang.
Well, I could see them taking Kang and his time travel, and then you could do something with the Ant-Man could like travel into the what do they call it in the movies?
The the quantum realm.
Quantum realm.
Yeah.
And maybe they could use him, like Ant-Man could travel back in time to go fight Kang or something like that. But I would feel like introducing him as like a one-off Ant-Man villain does not feel like Kang the Conqueror. Like, I want Kang. I like real-ass Kang. So he's a great villain, and I think it would make a lot of sense for a big bad, especially just being able to like travel through time. They could do some really cool stuff with that. We are going to move on now to another topic that I had up against my comic book stuff. Some big news from DC this week. A couple of big things. Let's start with Batcat.
Yeah.
Finally, after a year of delays, Tom King and Clay Mann's Batman Catwoman follow-up series to his ongoing Batman book will be out December 1st. Very excited for that. We've been obviously waiting for forever. Yeah. And they're going to have the Phantasm in it, which, again, I was talked about a little while ago. So, first time they're really bringing the Phantasm into the mainstream comic line, obviously.
Got to add that speculator bump to your numbers.
Well, Phantasm's a cool character, and I would like to see them do more with her. Spoiler.
She could be a spoiler villain.
Did I know Batman Catwoman is Black Label? Did I know that? Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, they I think they talked about doing it Black Label like after the pandemic hit. They were like, oh, maybe we can push this to Black Label so we can tell a little bit better or a little bit more mature stories.
Yeah, I didn't know if I realized it was Black Label. That's great. Very, very excited for Batcat. Obviously, a fan favorite here. We've been waiting for this for a long time. So more Tom King. Another Tom King 12-issue miniseries. Just keep it going forever. It's going to be two at a time. There's also, I think these all kind of connect a little bit here. And also in December, Brian Michael Bendis will be leaving both Action Comics and Superman. And in a tweet, he replied something when someone asked, why would you choose December as your time to get off the books? He said something big enough to get me to clear the decks. It's super exciting, but it's months away, and we'll talk about it all when the world isn't literally on fire. I'm in Portland. So let's speculate a little bit here. I have there's some quotes here from Jim Lee about specifically 5G and a big reboot. But we'll talk about that in a second, because we've had a lot of books ending from DC. We have Bendis off Superman titles. We have not really. There's no stable teams on Justice League. Green Lantern should be over. All their fill-in, all the books are getting kind of a fill-in arc. That Endless Winter, we did get the kind of official reveal of what that is. It's like an 8-part, 2 parts a week, little Justice League event through December. We got the solicitation for Metal number 7, which will be the first week of January. They did put the first week of January titles into the December solicitations. So Metal ends the very beginning of January. Man, to me, there is no clearer sign here that we're going to get a pretty, not a New 52 reboot, nothing like that, but a big shakeup across the entire DC line. And I have to assume we're going to be looking at some pretty classic DC books going forward. Ending the Titans book, the Teen Titans book, to me is a big sign of getting that back to a more classic take. Robin is Tim Drake is now back as being Robin. I don't know if any of you guys got that in the last couple of weeks.
That happened in Young Justice.
What's that?
Didn't that happen in Young Justice?
Yeah, Damian ripped off the Robin symbol, and another Robin down. And Tim in Young Justice was like, "Yeah, anyway, so Drake's really stupid. I'm Robin again." Just like literally in between 2 pages. So we're definitely getting some good cleanup. With Metal being the Anti-Crisis, to me, it just makes sense that we're going to get some really, really classic takes on these characters going forward. A lot of teases of Generations and those pitches being used for other things. Some out of continuity, random what if team ups and stuff, which seem really fun, right? I'm totally down with that stuff. But lot of speculation on Mark Waid coming in to take over the Superman books now with Dan Didio no longer at DC. Mark Waid is going to be doing his first work at DC in like 20 years for one of the upcoming Metal one shots. So Mark Waid on Superman is a dream project for him. He's talking about it many times. That'd be great. Giving Bendis Justice League is a no-brainer to me. He's got that good team dynamic. I don't know. I know. Snyder is going to be kind of stepping down from regular work at DC, but I'm sure he'll still be doing something. We don't know what Johns' next project is post Three Jokers. Joshua Williamson, we don't know his next project past his run on Justice League. He's doing the Metal tie-ins right now. So yeah, there's a lot of big creators with big gaps in their publishing schedule. So,
well, isn't Williamson off Flash?
It's soon. It's it's with the next couple issues. He's almost done, and that current arc has been fantastic.
Yeah. Well, his whole run on Flash has been one of the best I've read. Consistency.
I'll keep it a little light on spoilers in case people haven't caught up. But if you have a favorite Flash family member that has been gone for quite some time, you should be reading Flash right now, because you should be reading Flash. That's all I'll say.
She's saying Jesse Quick is back.
You should be reading Flash right now.
Are you telling me both Wally Vests are back?
You should be reading Metal right now. But you should also be reading Flash. Yeah, it's a good time to be a Flash fan. And if you hated Heroes in Crisis, it's a really good time to be reading Flash. So,
do you think they would take Bendis and put him on a Teen Titans reboot?
I mean, that with Young Justice ending,
because I know in that
that would be a great one too. If they just do a Teen Titans, Young Justice, Teen Titans kind of mega title, right? Again,
but the other thing too was in that article with Jim Lee about 5G being dead and all that stuff, and them focusing more on, they're not rebooting the whole line, but they're focusing more on diving deep into characters.
Let me read his quote, and then you can continue. This was during Fandom, which I was gonna put some Fandom stuff on here. I don't know that there was cool panels, but there wasn't news. But if you guys watch Fandom, feel free to talk about it. He said there won't be this is a direct quote from Jim Lee. There won't be a project called 5G or a big reboot or whatever. We really want to focus on individual titles and organically build up individual characters over the course of the next year. And this feels pretty consistent with what DC said they want to do as far as graphic novel collections and as far as Black Label, where they like more standalone stuff. Look, I mean, I love the characters crossing over, but the main books need to be good within themselves. And I think DC's done a great job of that,
I think that, like,
years.
Teen Titans, relaunching Teen Titans, because, I mean, is Justice League still going, or are they stopping that? Young Justice, I mean.
Young Justice is ending.
Okay.
Legion is still continuing.
So having Bendis on Legion in Teen Titans seems natural, and then throwing him on another book to give depth to it, I would almost say they'd throw him on, like, Nightwing, potentially.
I think they gave him the team. I just think they gave him a team book.
He's already, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he has the team book, Teen Titans is the one they give him. I'm saying if they're trying to give depth and staying with, like, a character that's going to be maybe similar or a lead in some aspect of it, because if they're returning to more of a classic Teen Titans,
I mean, I'd love to see him on. I'd love to see Bendis on Nightwing. That'd be great. But I could see him do like Teen Titans and Nightwing. Right?
Yeah,
right. Both, or like Titans is like a big overall thing. Jim Lee also says if you're waiting for 5G, you're gonna have to wait a long time because it's not going to happen. But if you're waiting for big developments in the DC universe, pretty big ones in 2021 across the board. But again, it's spread out and approached organically when it makes sense within a particular title, so not everything has to tie into a big epic event all at once. So if I had a guess from this, from Metal, from the cancellations, we're not going to get 20 number ones or 30 number ones in December. I think we're just going to get creators moving around, new titles will launch, some stuff will end, but I think we're going to get the big guns. DC is going to get everything stabilized because, they'll always have some oddball titles, but we're gonna all killer, no filler for a little while. We're gonna have the big titles from DC, big creators. I can see this all coming out of Metal, right? It feels like Metal is aiming at I don't know that undoing Crisis is the right word, but from
altering Crisis,
it's sort of. The best of everything, right? This has always been DC's strength and they talk about this in Fandom, the multiverse concept. Everything happened, everything matters, right? And this was literally said at the beginning of Metal, of Death Metal. So, you can have the big end of Metal be the little funnel bit of all the multiverses crack open and everything gets mixed up, and now everything is possible and. They're just free to go off and do whatever they want. People can use any characters they want, any world, any universe, right? I love my oddball DC and the weirdo titles, and but hey, if there's 3 or 4 less books, but every single book on the rack is fucking a killer title, that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. Don't stay away from the weirdo stuff too long. I love DC's experimentation, but hey, whatever works.
You think we're going to get a blue and gold book in 2021?
I mean, I would think not, but I would love that, right? And that's the stuff that I don't want to see go away forever. I would absolutely love, get Bendis and Kevin Maguire on a Justice League International title, right? Like perfect. He wants. I mean, he's talked about it. And he's worked with Kevin Maguire a bunch. He'd be a perfect guy to write that. Nothing against Timotheus and the other people, right, that are still working in comics, but
we're also getting some of the milestone stuff that's going to be coming out at the beginning of the year.
We'll see.
Notice how I said some.
We're getting one Static Shock digital miniseries. We talked about this when Fandom announced this last month.
Yeah, a little bit.
I would love nothing more than a legit milestone line of print comics with multiple titles, but their track record is non-existent past that original run. They've tried multiple times to get this stuff going, and every time it never starts. So we're going to get digital releases of the original material and a new digital miniseries for Static Shock. And that's it. I hope there's more. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, that does nothing for anyone.
Well, like the Deceased story that's going on digitally right now, I'm like, I'd love to read it, but it's digital.
It's going to come to print. Yeah, it's going to come to print.
And the same with like
the black and white red.
Black, white, and red Harley book.
Brock, I'm telling you, man, if black, white, and red sold well, Batman Black and White would be digital exclusive, and it's not. It's a print comic, right? I'm telling you, I would I would kill to know. But the exclusive digital sales, they must just not be what they want. I'm sure they're fine, right? But they've got to be a fraction of what they would be if they also released print material. I know Injustice was very popular, but that had additional things kind of going for it. I love the fact that DC wants to release a new digital comic series every single day, 5 days a week. That's a great idea, but also make print copies of those titles.
Yeah.
Like, look at Batman Adventures, right? We sell a shitload of those. We sell like 50 copies of that. That's just money on the table that DC's leaving behind. I don't care if we get it later. It doesn't bother me. People are going to buy the physical copies if it's good. And Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red would sell wonderful. So yeah, that's the comic book stuff. But that might be it. That's all I got. That's that. I think that's it. Yeah. Feel free to throw in some topics, you guys. You want to say anything?
So you have questions? Some questions?
We do.
Hit them.
Wonderful questions. This is from Verum Libertas. We already answered this, but I want a roundtable. We all get to give an answer. Speculation time. What is next for Bendis at DC? I gave my example.
What was your answer, Ryan? Justice League?
I think Justice League. Okay. Yeah. I think he takes the twice a month Justice League title.
I mean, I put him on Teen Titans.
I do like that idea, but I say Justice League.
Naomi ongoing.
Dude, there was talk, was it Clark Bull that was talking about this on Twitter, that Naomi had such a major launch and then just, she's in the background of Young Justice a little bit. Like, what happened? Like, struck at that fucking fire's hot, man. Like, why did that not go directly into another series? An ongoing. It's crazy.
Yep.
I mean, maybe they wanted the artist, but like, what are you going to do?
Okay, I'll say Bendis is on a new Brave and the Bold style title.
Ooh. I love anthologies. I love team up books.
And he kind of got to do it in that Batman Universe book, but this would be
a legit Brave and the Bold.
Like a legit him getting to play with all the different whatever corner he wants to tackle.
That'd be great. Zach Johnson says, a lot has been said about the business side of comics lately, but what are your opinions on how Marvel and DC are doing from a creative standpoint right now? I think Marvel and DC have been basically both killing it since 2018. And I think Marvel, boy, did they have a couple of rough years. Fucking hell. That was bad.
Legacy.
It was really rough.
Remember Legacy?
Old episodes of this podcast, if you want to hear how bad Marvel was for a few years there. But, C.B. Spolsky, he's a fan, and he knows how to do both types of comics. The ones for the hardcore classic fans and the ones for the new kids and the new crowd. Right? I think they've done a really good job of just doing some real classic stories and fun characters, and not everything's great, but our Marvel sales are way up. There's just a general excitement about the Marvel books. We used to have multiple double-digit titles that I did not order shelf copies for. I don't have a single book that I don't order for the shelf now for Marvel. Everything sells. And obviously, I think DC is great. They're in a little bit of change, obviously, because of layoffs, but DC had a couple of really strong years. I think basically since Rebirth, DC's been just hit after hit after hit after hit up for me personally. Sales are through the roof on most of these titles, right? Everything is selling well. Sales are up on every single book. So I think they're both doing a really good job. And that's when comics are the best, when Marvel and DC are both doing good at the same time. It is hard because it usually doesn't happen. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think Marvel, I think DC has it for a while kind of nurtured enough talent and had them working on with artists that they want to work with, like sort of building that creativity from that standpoint. That I think that's where you kind of have that really solid base of like what Tom King's been doing, what Scott Snyder's been doing, what Brian Michael Bendis has been doing, what Tyrion the Fourth has been doing, Williamson, like all of these people are really just kind of working hard in their specific field. And Marvel started to get that going after Bendis kind of left with, Al Ewing and Donny Cates, especially Jason Aaron, kind of moving them around. And I think that they've kind of fit them into better spots. I mean, Thor and Venom are top sellers right now from Donny Cates. Like it's disgusting how much those books are selling and the amount of printings they're going to. So it's good to see both. Like it's good to see both of them have healthy, quality content coming out. That's my take.
Yeah, for sure.
Kev?
Well, most of it's already been said. I don't really have much more to add. But every comics fan, the best ideal world you should dream of as a comics fan is that the market share, but those two are like 51-49. Actually, I shouldn't say that because then that excludes everybody, the other publishers, because that makes up 100.
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
Yeah, those two should be neck and neck, like month to month, like two heavyweight champions slugging it out. That is the best world for all comics and for all comics fans.
And not only that, the independent stuff is doing great. Trade sales are up. All these little indie guys, or that were little, are now growing. Boom's been crushing it. Image just had multiple 100,000 plus copy orders this past month. Vault, Scout, all these guys are growing in sales pretty dramatically. Yeah, it's great stuff. It's a good time. From Tyler Willits. He says, what are some runs that everyone reads every year or so? I'm going through my annual reread of Morrison's Batman run, which includes Final Crisis and Multiversity. Ooh. I read that in Hickman's Fantastic Four almost every year. These are both runs I tend to find new things I didn't catch the first time around. Imagine having the time to reread a comic book, let alone every year.
Reread three omnibus volumes of Grant Morrison? Sure. Like,
Tyler, you got to read more comic books, man.
Plenty of time. Like,
you got to reread more comics. Or you got to read more comics, and you can't read. You have time to reread anything. I never reread anything anymore.
Okay, since you don't reread because you don't have the time.
Used to be Sandman, right?
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask.
Sandman, like Sandman, Watchmen, and Dark Knight, I reread multiple times over the course of a handful of years, but I haven't reread. What was that? I mean, I reread Miracle after like the hardcover came out.
Yeah, I've reread Mr. Miracle probably 4 times.
I just read it once.
I was just gonna frame the question as something that you have reread multiple times.
It'd be older stuff. I think Crisis I've read a few times. Most of the Crisis, Final Crisis, Identity Crisis, Infinite Crisis, those tend to be like my plane reads. I read those on planes for some reason. I don't know why. I've read New Warriors a couple times. I've reread Sandman a few times. Yeah, I have, but nothing recently. Nothing this like the last couple of years. I haven't reread anything.
I reread Sandman at the end of last year or end of this year. End of last year, going into this year. I want to reread Preacher. I haven't reread that in a while. Yeah, but I kind of go to those like one-off stories a lot of times. Like Batman Hush, I've reread a few times. Long Halloween, I've read a few times. Infinite Crisis. I need to reread Crisis. I haven't done that in a while. Kevin, you got anything?
I'm just scanning the shelves here as we talk. This year I reread The Invisibles and the Alan Moore Swamp Thing, but those are really like dense meals. Like I wouldn't sit down every year and reread those. Yeah. I'm good to like 2023 at this point.
Yeah.
I would say All-Star Superman would be one that's a regular go-to. I also like the New Frontier and Marvels. Those are satisfying meals, but also more digestible than committing to like Tyler's Morrison Batman project, which I did last year, and it was fantastic. And it's still great. It just wouldn't be an every year thing because it's one of those things where you look at the volumes, you go, damn, I could read 3 other complete series in the time that it's going to take me with this.
Well, that's why I think, the things that are better to reread are those events, those one-shot books, original graphic novels. It's hard to say, I reread the, 80-issue run of, I reread Ultimate Spider-Man every year. It's like 100 issues, right? Like, it doesn't quite work. Not that people don't, but...
Well, people do that read very little new comic books.
Yeah. I wish I had more time to reread comics. I read enough.
It's all that money you're making behind the counter just selling comics.
See, remember when I used to read comics at the store? That is that. 2 last questions. One from Mario Miranda. What is everyone's favorite Bendis run and series? Since we're talking about Superman, he's done a ton, so I'm hoping to hear some varied answers. What's your favorite Bendis run? I have a feel like the problem is I think we're going to have a lot of the same answer because I think it's Alias without a doubt.
It's on my list. I haven't read it.
Alias is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I like his Avengers run. I like New Avengers. I had my ups and downs of the New Avengers, but overall, I've come to really appreciate it. I like his Superman currently. I like Young Justice and Legion quite a bit. I thought his Defenders run before he left Marvel was some of the strongest work he had done at Marvel in years. But to me, I mean...
His Daredevil was good, from what I hear.
Daredevil would be the other one
list.
I was expecting to hear. Toby, you read the Bendis Daredevil stuff? Yeah?
I love the Bendis Daredevil stuff.
Yeah, okay. I figured that'd be yours.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with Toby on that.
That's pretty up there. That was some magical time. Like, It was right after the Kevin Smith stuff, which I thought was awesome too, but then like Bendis just took it to another level, which at the time was like, wow, this is going places. But I will say Ultimate Spider-Man has, it's a long run, but those early issues were also really, really good. So I'll pick both of those actually, both Daredevil. They're very different though. That's why it's hard to pick over the other, because Ultimate Spider-Man was very much a family-friendly, teen book versus, Daredevil is just a real noir, kind of story, darker story. So they're on the opposite. It's almost like, the one is a cleanser for the other. It's like they're on the opposite spectrum, but I love them both.
Well, the funny thing really is if you look at Bendis in his career, who the hell at Marvel read like Jinx and said, or Torso and said, let's get this guy a kid Spider-Man comic. That's a great idea, right? Like what? Like his stuff.
What's his Powers book?
This stuff. Powers came later. His stuff prior to Ultimate Spider-Man was super dark and it's very much like his Daredevil, right? It's very, very dark and noirish. Can we just stop and can we travel back in time to like 1999? Could we go back
and what?
Why party like it's 1999?
Marvel Knights, Max, Morrison's new X-Men run. Could we go back to that era?
So wait, we're gonna land in 1999, and that's what you want to do while we're there?
No, I'm just like
comics.
We
won't do anything else.
Hey Kevin, remember on his honeymoon, his highlight was reading a comic book. So
buy some Apple stock while we're there. Could we just?
Maybe we could prevent 9/11, but after we read comics.
Yeah.
After we read comics.
Sure.
You have the ability to completely blot out the whole Trump presidency.
There's the 2000 election, for example.
Can we mentally return
to
those years?
Write a crazy journal and mail it to a journalist? Like, I don't know. Come on.
Could we mentally return to those years of Marvel comics and how good they were? Marvel Knights, Max, X-Force, P. Milligan, Mike Allred X-Force run, incredible. Morrison's X-Men, Ennis on Punisher, come on.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith's Daredevil, Bendis on Daredevil.
I thought you hated Kevin Smith.
That was when I loved him. His Daredevil and his Green Arrow run, I think, are fantastic. After that, they really go downhill for me. But I know I legitimately like his Daredevil and his especially his Green Arrow run. It was a lot of fun. Those are good times, guys. Those good years.
And the Brad Metzler right after Kevin's
really good too. Yep, on Green Arrow. Final question from Josh. Josh Pickett says, I love the Alex Ross covers that will be coming out over the next few weeks. Started last week. A bunch of them came out this week. I think my favorite is the Colossus cover. Anyone have one they particularly like?
Yes, these are the Ultraman that came out last week.
These are the which one?
Ultraman that came out last week.
He means the Alex Ross Marvel. They're called the Timeless.
Timeless,
variant.
yeah.
Well, Ultraman is very timeless.
I don't remember seeing Ultraman on the big mural he painted at the Marvel office, but maybe he snuck him in the back or something.
It is Marvel now, so might as well.
So, well, Ryan, I'm going to pick. Who did I'm about to say the caller.
Josh picked Colossus.
So I'm looking at some of them right now, and I got to go with the Falcon. Because that Falcon look, that red and white costume, I think that character's never looked cooler. Yeah. And when he has the bird on his arm, like an actual bird, not a robot, I just think it's so cool. Yeah. So I'm going with the Falcon.
I like the She-Hulk one a lot. She-Hulk one is really good.
There's a She-Hulk cover coming?
Yeah.
I want to see.
Toby, just Google Alex Ross Timeless. Do image search.
Yeah, you'll see the fullest of all the covers.
Alex Ross.
They're good covers. Yeah, we've sold quite a few of them.
Angel's not bad.
Yeah, I really want to see what.
It's just heads.
The Daredevil one looks pretty good.
Yeah. It's all heads, like portraits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that She-Hulk one though, that one's pretty.
He did that huge mural that has the full figures, but then the covers are just going to be the bust shot.
That Daredevil is very reminiscent of like Brubaker, that Brubaker run to me.
It's good radio, huh?
Yeah. Looking at pictures, talking about
let's
pictures.
click some up. This one's cool too.
This is awesome. Look at this.
Yeah, I would love to see them. I wonder if they'll do more of like the full body shots because the
it's Marvel. They'll do as many variants as they possibly can and get away with it.
They've got to make a poster of this thing because if you guys haven't seen it, it's the Alex Ross, this big mural for Marvel, and so they're making obviously a bunch of them. They're making.
I'm still going with Ultraman from last week. That was an amazing cover.
It was good. Did you see the Archer one coming out for Ultraman too?
Oh, I haven't.
Yeah, it's really good too. Yeah. All right. Kevin, an actual short episode. We're done. Before we get out of here, though.
Yeah, we skip a week and then just do a short episode for the listeners.
All right, man.
Mean, no fat on this baby.
Yeah. They don't all have to be 3.5 hours. I wish they were not all 3.5 hours. Before we get out of here, though.
Are we announcing our Patreon tier for November? We'll record Tuesday, that special Tuesday night.
What?
No.
Oh, the election coverage?
Live election coverage?
There's going to be more efforts on the Toby podcast.
Maybe we'll do a live stream on Twitch or something.
Kevin, was it you that challenged us not to swear in that one podcast? And
yeah.
It was it was a 3-part challenge: swearing, no hero clicks, and do a random pick of the week.
Did we ever achieve that?
Yeah.
Like a couple times, yeah.
You got the reward from it, Toby. I brought the pizza and the beer into the old store.
Oh yeah, we should do that more often. Can we do that?
I'm not gonna do that again.
Remember when we had pizza and beer before these podcasts?
Yeah.
Remember when we recorded in person?
Disregard what I said about no fat on the episode.
Before we wrap up, though, we do have to remind all our lovely listeners that as of this recording, tomorrow, but by the time you're listening to this, it's probably today.
The Batman comes out.
What?
The Batman comes.
The Batman comics. Our Detective Comics 1027 store exclusive variant cover by Mitch Garrett is now live, official out. Brock shipped a couple dozen packages, dozens of packages.
One that was prepaid.
That's for the base cover. The set is off to Mitch Garrett's get signed. So signed copies should be going out very soon. He says he plans to get them back to us within a day or two of receiving them. So my hope is by end of next week, we'll have all those boxed up and packed up and sent out to you if you purchase the signed edition, which of course is limited to 250 copies, almost sold out. We don't have too many left. Of course, if we want to pick them up at the store, we'll have some hanging out at the store as well. So make sure you go to comicsconspiracy.biz and pre-order those. $24.99 for the main cover, $39.99 for the signed one. It does come with a certificate of authenticity.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that thing. I'm like, are they coming? I haven't seen these. After
getting hassled by people online, yes, I will include a certificate of authenticity.
Is it really just a paper where you say it's a real signature?
And in typical Ryan Higgins troll ass fashion, it's I had a little fun with it. So,
I can't wait to see this thing. I got to insert.
Well, it's not anything crazy, but I had an idea and I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to do this." So very authentic because it has some. We included something in it. So,
oh dear God.
That's available. Yes. Mitch Garrett's cover again. You can go check it out at comicsconspiracy.biz. And if you're at the store, pick it up. We have plenty of copies available.
And unless the listeners think this is all just some giant tease, none of us have any idea what he's talking about either.
It's a stamp. It's the conspiracy man stamp.
The pervert.
I should know. Maybe I will.
Pervert.
It's the conspiracy man.
No. All I did is
you still have that stamp thing. It's buried somewhere in a box.
No.
You don't have the stamp anymore?
I don't think so.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Oh, yeah.
You'll have bad business luck for the next 10 years because of
because I threw away the
Toby, it's in some short box of random crap that we have. It's either in his garage or somewhere in the back room.
Conspiracy man stamp, dude. Come on.
I don't think I do. Thank you all for listening to this podcast. Please go pick up our Mitch Garrett store exclusive variant cover for Detective Comics 1027. And also, thank you to our wonderful backers on Patreon, Joe Duff, Andrew Nelson Mendez at Recovery of an Anime Junkie Podcast, Craig Anderson at CraigPAnderson.com, James Laws, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast, Jesse Peterson at the Comic Book Matter Podcast, Martin Aguilar. He wants to promote his girlfriend's artwork, which is at Lost Ghost Flower on Instagram. You can go check that stuff out, as well as etsy.com/shop/Lost Ghost Flower. Please go support all our high tier backers. If you would like to hear our previous episodes, you can find them all at comicsconspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Can also find us over at youtube.com/comicsconspiracy, comics with an S. Just like the name of the store, the Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net. It's where you can send us those long form emails if you would like. Patreon.com/comic-conspiracy. Kick us a couple bucks over there. It's always very appreciated. Of course, comicsconspiracy.biz is where you can purchase our comic book, our Detective Comics 1027, 1,000 issues since the launch of Batman and Detective Comics.
You can also buy a ton of other stuff, too.
What's that?
You can also buy a ton of other stuff, too.
There's lots of other stuff there as well.
Like, even some of the stuff that we talked about on the sales charts, like that pulp graphic novel.
Yeah.
And we do still have some copies of Batman and Death Metals.
We've got a lot. ConspiratorBrock.com is Brock's blog, video pull lists and unboxing videos. You can go watch his stuff over there. Charlie, he's got the Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast that is all about Doctor Who. And Kevin Sharp is over at fanbasepress.com, where he has a series of creator interviews between the panels. Kevin, who have you got recently? You had a bunch of people on.
Yeah, this month is heavy on webcomics, but we also just had Nadia Shamas, who is a writer who just got the gig doing Marvel starting a new Scholastic program, like those DC YA graphic novels, and Nadia got the gig writing the Miss Marvel debut book.
That's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
That's a big deal. Those should be good books. If you want to see my wife, Leanne, you can find her artwork at Leanne Hill Art on Etsy. That's etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. please go on Twitter. Ryan Higgins Ryan. That's myself. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby is Toby XI. Kevin is that Kevin Sharp. The store is Comics Con Store. And maybe you want to mute me for a few months because those political tweets are going to get more and more every day. What are we at, like 48 days or something? What the hell? How many
49 days, 48.
40, is it 40? Is it 49? So
48.
49 days, baby.
You'll be quieter on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but other days, full bore.
Please go listen to the Geekbox podcast we recorded last night where I think I'm buying an Xbox. I think I'm going to buy an Xbox Series X.
The hell is wrong with you?
It's a really good deal with that Game Pass.
What?
Hold on, Nico. I'm coming. Hold on. That Xbox Series X with Game Pass
You're not a fan anymore. You're a traitor.
I'm going to get one of them. I'm probably going to get PlayStation 5 eventually too, but
Nintendo for life. Nintendo only.
Oh, I do love me some Nintendo, but Game Pass, man.
Only.
Trust me, even if I buy the Xbox, I'm still going to only play Nintendo. Let's be honest. But Game Pass is such a good deal. I may have talked myself into buying an Xbox Series X.
What is this Game Pass thing?
Game Pass, you pay like $14.99 a month, and you get like all these free games to play. AAA games, all their releases. EA.
I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
When are you going to have time to play these games?
Never unsubscribe. Never unsubscribe.
He'll play them as he's doing his rereads.
The thing is, I would never buy any of these games. But if I can have an unlimited subscription service to like play any of this stuff anytime I want, I'm all.
How are you excited about this?
The Game Pass, dude. Go look up Game Pass. It is a really good deal.
Again, I don't understand how you're obsessed with something that you're not going to be able to use.
I can use it. Sure,
dude. Liar.
I will.
No, you won't. How's your WoW playing?
I've been playing. I've been back playing WoW because the patch was coming up.
How's playing those video games on PlayStation?
Yeah, really bad. And finally, Manga Machination podcast. You can look. I've been very busy. Okay, but Game Pass is a really good deal. Manga Machination podcast. It's our good friends over there talking about manga and anime. Go check those guys out. All right. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week.
I do want to say one thing before we finish, real quick. Nothing. It's not long.
We're still recording. Go for it, Brock.
I don't know if anybody's watching it, but seriously, Raised by Wolves on HBO Max by Ridley Scott. You people need to be watching.
Comic book's really good. I love the comic book that show is based on. Because it's a comic book podcast, so clearly we're talking about
we could talk about just good stuff in general. So it's sci-fi. It fits. Go watch it.
Okay, we'll do. Goodbye, everyone.